who I am. Some of you may know me and have seen me at the downtown Maine Ives branch of the New Haven Free Public Library. My name is Gina Bingham. I am the manager of our Ives Squared space in the main library, and it was a renovation project that happened about 2 years ago where we went out to the community and asked folks, what do you want to see in your 21st century library? And so what became Ives Squared is actually a combination of things. Let me go ahead and share that screen back, I think. There we go. So Ives Squared is a place in the library where you can come and make and create. So in that space, we offer a free maker space, entrepreneurship and small business and nonprofit support. And it is an incredible place to just kind of pop in. And it always amazes me when people come in, their first reaction is, wow, this is totally different than what I thought my library was. So if you haven't been there, when we reopen to the public in person, please do come down. In the meantime, I want to just let everybody know the library is open and we are serving the community as best we can during this time. So we have a curbside pickup. Our technology center in the downtown branch is open by appointment. And we have a whole team of librarians just waiting to help you with whatever you need. So reach out and let us know what we can do. So to tell you a little bit more about Ives Squared. So it's kind of joined, it's 4 different places coming together to really show people what we are. So the switchboard is that place where we're having people come in. They may not know what they want, or they may not know why they really came in that day, but there's always a person there who's kind of a concierge that'll tell you, oh, well, you should really connect with this, or let me show you something new. The Tinker Lab is our makerspace. It does offer several pieces of equipment and technology that would be otherwise hard for people to acquire on their own. So for instance, we have a laser cutter, we have a vinyl cutter, we have several 3D printers, we have access to the Adobe Suite 3D modeling software. So a lot of things to really get your fingers in and start making things, connect with other people that are into creation. And then we've got the exchange. That's where I spend a good portion of my time doing business and nonprofit outreach and support. And so it is a space. It's anyone can come in. It's a great place to have a meeting. We have a space that offers a lot of collaborative tools, so whiteboards, a smart board, and it actually is nestled nicely with our partners from Concat who operate Orchid Cafe on the Green. And it's just a nice place to grab a cup of coffee, have lunch on our patio, the best view of the Green in the fall.
Oh, so yeah, I was there. And then at one point you had music coming in, and there was jazz out on the patio. So I was having my little soup and sandwich from Orchid Cafe, and then listening to jazz and hanging out with my friends and looking out on the Green. And I was like, this is the light. Like, this is lunchtime right here.
Exactly. This is the kind of place where we really do get to highlight, and we get to highlight a lot of different talent. The music on the patio is one of my favorite things. And then just partnering with Orchid Cafe, we have a lot of values in line. So they support, lifelong learning and career development. And that's exactly what we're about at the library too. So it was a match made in heaven, honestly.
Yeah.
So this is a picture of the exchange. As you can see, we also have our collection that encapsulates this beautiful space. And we did keep as much of the historic architecture as possible, which is a nice juxtaposition between the old and the new. And in the exchange, this is where we really do focus on building together. And the idea isn't necessarily that you should be expected to know all the answers and do it all your own. Absolutely not. The journey is all about the people you meet and the help you can get and sharing back to that community. So as part of that, in this large network of support within New Haven, we offer, really early stage entrepreneurs are really who we see the most of. And we're looking to help them grow through research assistance, network connections. We do offer regular workshops and one-on-one mentorship. So it is a great space. As you can see in the pictures here on the left, we have our partners from the Creative Arts Workshop showing a whole group of people a bookbinding technique.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Oh, amazing, amazing workshops. And that's a fantastic partner for us. And then in the middle, we've got one of our SCORE mentors. We do a regular small business growth workshop with some fabulous people from SCORE. And then on the right, those of you who have been to Known Co-working probably know the gentleman presenting there. Rick Callahan was our creative in residence, and he really, we do have entrepreneur in residence. And I just saw Sammy popped in to say hello.
Yes, an entrepreneur in residence at the moment too, right?
Absolutely. Sammy Williams is our current entrepreneur in residence, and she puts on some amazing workshops for us. So we're very, very lucky to be able to offer that opportunity to take the library, this space, and then experts from the community and really make that an accessible thing for people that are just starting out.
Yeah. So it really makes the space invaluable. I mean, it's so much more than just like, oh, I'm just going to go grab some books, or I need to help research for this or that sort of thing. There's really bringing a lot of different pieces of the puzzle together, and libraries are definitely such a huge pillar in the community, and I love what the New Haven Free Public Library is doing right now. And has been doing, and I'm really excited to hear, about for businesses as well, for business research, because I don't know how many people know like what is available. So this is really exciting stuff.
I know, and that's one of those things that I think is a great resource that we are getting ready to really focus on this year. So do keep an eye out for things coming out of the library. We'll be taking a lot of these and really digging deep into all of them. As you can see from the screen, we colloquially call it the Digital Toolbox. And it's all about getting the information easier and faster. And just because as a business owner or somebody who's working in a nonprofit or is a creative person, time is money, honestly, or it's just the most precious thing that we all have is time. And so being able to get the same information that you may be able to piece together over weeks and weeks of searching the internet and building your collection of info, you might be able to do it in 10 minutes if just by simply kind of checking and seeing what we've got and having a conversation. And because that's exactly what we like to do. And this is our digital toolbox, but also we still have the traditional books and newspapers, magazines that are wonderful resources to kind of just reach out, skill up, and just learn. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited.
I love it. I will tell you, I have the best job on the planet. And part of that is because I learn so much from what people ask me about. And so then when I go digging and I learn more about what they're doing, it's inevitable that I learn. So that's my selfish love of my job, but also giving back to people and saying, hey, we can help and you don't have to do it alone. And so it really is an amazing career. So I wanted to dig into a few of these just to kind of highlight them and show you a smattering of what we've got. And the first thing that I wanted to show you is one of my heavy hitters. This is one that I go to regularly, and it's called Mergent Intellect. And what this database does is it provides access to public and private business data. And that includes industry news, facts and figures, if you're looking for executives, if you're looking for people. industry profiles, market research, and it is powered by, you know, the reputation of Dun & Bradstreet, Hoover's, and First Research.
Right.
So what I see a lot of people coming in asking for is, a lot of times they're looking for potential customers. They're looking for an analysis of who else is in the community doing what they're doing. So if you're looking for your competitors, or if you're doing just kind of a survey of, you know, I'm thinking of opening this business, are there people that are already doing this? Then you can kind of get a lay of the land. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you how it works, just a real quick search. And so what I'll do here. All right, so I want to show you how to actually get to these resources. All right. Julia, will you confirm that you can see what I'm doing?
I can see that, and actually what I think I'm going to do is go to the big screen. So I'm going to take us off and put it up a little bit bigger.
Okay, sounds great. All right, so where we are right now is the library's home page. And when you're here, if you see this menu bar across the top, what you're looking for here is collections and then electronic resources. This is where all of our digital tools live. And so when you come to this page, the easiest way to find what you're looking for is either by these categories, which are broken down into different buckets. So there is a business, jobs, and nonprofit bucket here. And as you can see right here, right at the top, emergent intellect. Now, if you're accessing some of these databases within the library or on our network, there'll be no login prompt. But for some of these, there may be if you're working remotely. And for the last one I'll show you today, Sem Rush, that's something that I need to kind of connect with you before you're able to log in. But for emergent intellect, you can see that there was the username Haven, password public. So we'll go ahead and jump on in there. All right. And then this is what your beginning search looks like. So you can see that there's a couple of different options here. You can search by a specific company. You can look up executives. You can do some industry research, or you can look for new US businesses. So and then there's even more down here. You can look at consumer data, data on individuals' lifestyles. I'll actually show you this one because it's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think reshare the screen just really quickly.
Okay.
On that particular screen, because right now we're still on the choices of platforms.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, we just gotta pop back and forth really quick.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, and then I believe just bop onto the screen that you're looking to share, and then hit share screen again. There's me.
All right, let's see if we can go ahead and do this again. Did that work?
Not as of yet.
Okay.
But I do want to take this time also. I know we've had a couple of questions while you're bringing that up. Oh, look at that. Okay, I think I did it quick now. There we are.
All right.
The search screen. Wonderful.
All right. Not to interrupt you, Julie, if you wanted to make a quick announcement, go right ahead.
Oh, just that we had a couple of questions, but now that we have this up, I think we're going to save them to the end because that's actually going to feed into the further conversation that I want to have with you. But yeah, this database for business owners and marketing and that sort of thing is just so incredibly powerful, and the fact that it's so easily available at the library, and as an online piece is just fantastic. And I love that you researched like which was the best database to use. We talked about this yesterday. This is like some background information now. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is something too that this was a product. We had something similar that folks may have been familiar with. We were using Reference USA, and it's a great tool. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But this actually offers a little bit more in the way of industry reports. So especially for folks that are, preparing for a pitch to investors, or they're preparing that business plan, getting that lay of the whole industry outlook from a couple of different points of view will really just strengthen them. And so it was something that was available in this tool that wasn't available in our previous one. So I am interested to see how people like this new one. Like we talked yesterday, we do try and pick the best of the best that we can provide. But if it's not filling the need for what people need, great, let us know. It's all about getting people the tools that they will find the most useful. So to this emergent intellect, I'll show you a really cool feature about this is, say we were going to do an advanced search.
Okay.
And we wanted to know, let's say we wanted to see a location and let's see. So we've got North America. We want to choose Connecticut. And we'll add that to the criteria. And then let's go ahead and it's running a little slow today. I apologize. We'll go back to that search. But let's go ahead and say we want to say photographers, photographic services. You can also search by NAICS code.
Okay.
So this will show you the sales. This will show you different companies. If you were looking for a specific company, say we wanted to see Photographic Services of Michigan, when you click on that, it will give you a profile of this specific company. And
wow.
So you can pull all of the people all the companies that are our primary NAICS code of home and healthcare services, visiting nurses, and you can actually pull them all for a geographic area. It is really interesting. This is something that I always find kind of bizarre, is the assignment of these codes doesn't always match the name. But there are ways to kind of filter those searches that'll allow you to get exactly what you want. Something that I do really love that is an interesting tool is this consumer data. And what you can do is, in this consumer lifestyle function of Emergent Intellect, is you can kind of pinpoint some people that might be interested in your specific product based on the information that's gathered by Emergent Intellect. So if we go to the general information, you can look specific people up, or you can actually take a look at lifestyle. So you can choose people that are interested in women's apparel purchasing and are also book buyers. And then let's go to location and see how many of those are in New Haven. And you've got that criteria added. It says that it found 12 million.
Whoa.
Let's go ahead and search. I don't know if it got the geographic. Yeah, filtered by geographic. But you can see that you can pull actual names of people.
Right.
And how.
Yeah. This is so important. I mean, it's just, especially when you're talking about startups and entrepreneurs, and we're always talking about, I do branding and marketing, and so when I'm talking to people about, who's your target audience? Who's your target audience? And this is like, well, we're just pulling it right here. This is we got to go after it. It really kind of drills down, and again, I love the fact that it's just like, okay, I got a library card, and I can jump in here, and I can start pulling information that I really need to see if if my business would be viable, how to supplement, how to get information, start, thinking about marketing and that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the nice thing about this is also, if you're working on a system of mailers to mailing advertisement campaigns, you can export with this and work with the vendor that you're working with, if you're working with one, or if you're doing it by hand, you've got addresses there. And I get asked a lot, like, how do they know that these people are interested in these topics? And the way this happens is actually from the scans of credit card machines. Now, when you run a card, it doesn't necessarily log what you purchased.
Right.
We'll say what kind of store it was and make assumptions from there. So these are based on actual customers purchasing something from an actual store. Yeah.
Yeah. So very actionable data.
Yes. So this is, as you can see, that's just one function of this tool. And there's many, many in this particular database. That is why it's my heavy hitter a lot of the time. This is where I start my research when I'm helping people.
I can see why, for sure.
Exactly. All right. And so then I wanted to go ahead and show you the next one. And I think I've gone and done some interesting things with our share.
We're now behind the curtain, how it works. This is how it works.
I know, right? This is
I feel like it's a commercial about like what the resources that I'm using in order to make this happen. So we're actually using a tool called StreamYard. And again, we were talking about how we're moving to digital, we're moving to video, we're moving to online streaming to get information out there to to people. Mm-hmm. So because I want to stream to multiple platforms at once, known in general. So, it's Juan and Rick and so forth. So for all of our programming, we use StreamYard, and it's kind of like, I was just saying, when you were sitting behind the scenes, so to speak, you're in the green room and there's banners that are coming up and we're on multiple platforms. So, and we get to share a screen. So yeah. So the thing with StreamYard right now is when you're sharing a screen, you're sharing one window or one tab, and then you just have to pop in and go into the next tab, and then you're super cool. Yeah.
I totally understand. And it doesn't help that I've got a million windows to show everybody.
Yeah. I did the work this morning of, I was I'm getting in at 8 o'clock in the morning. And part of the reason is because all my tabs open up because I don't shut down properly. People, please shut down properly. Close all your windows, shut down your computer. Don't be like me.
No.
But then I'm sitting there and I'm frantically okay, 8:30, we're on.
Yes.
I'm going to have to shut all the windows and just put all the pertinent windows up. Okay. So we have our one up. We're ready to go.
All right. So the next one that is just an all around, I've never met a single person that wasn't happy to find out that this was absolutely available to them for free from their public library. And when it became free and I first learned about it as a librarian, it is still something I probably access myself for my own personal development weekly. Mm-hmm. And it just recently changed names. It's technically LinkedIn Learning, but everybody tends to still call it lynda.com.
Yeah.
And it is just a portal of courses upon courses of business, creative arts, technology. They have writing, math, basic skills as well. And a couple of years ago, I looked up how much it would cost to have a personal subscription. It was something like $20 a month. Mm-hmm. Your library card costs you absolutely nothing. And so it is saving you. If you're the kind of person that's constantly devouring knowledge,
right. Oh yeah,
this is the tool for you. And it's super easy to log in. The best way to do it is just to we'll do some screen share, kind of some gymnastics here. I will get better at it, I promise.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully, at some point, this is definitely something where it's like, you're always thinking about, like, how can this run smoother? It can run smoother when people, when we get, the people at StreamYard can just like make this transition a little bit easier. Zoom, I think, kind of does the same thing as well. You get to choose between if you do multiple tabs or not. Mm-hmm. And we're saying hi to a couple more people. We're saying hi to Letitia Douglas, and we are saying hi to Rebecca Mead. Good morning. And we are talking about LinkedIn Learning, and I love that you brought this up and that it was lynda.com, because I would go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole when I was doing research for digital media things, like what can I do, like where can I get like my statistics and my data for when I'm doing my presentations. And there's just like presentation upon presentation on any topic you can think about, like in the business world. So I think we're ready to bring this up, right?
Yes. So as you can kind of just see, mine's populate. You're all looking at my own personal window of learning, so enjoy. It is, it will suggest popular learning paths. And so you can learn an incredible amount of development, computer programming, illustration. I mean, there's whole courses on entrepreneurship taught by folks like Kawasaki and things of this nature. And it's just incredible to take a look and say, oh, you know, they're bite-sized learning bits. They're about 5 to 10 minutes a piece. And it really just fits in nicely for anybody that's got a very busy schedule. I regularly use this at the library. We use this to do staff development at the library. Every time I wonder, how do I do this in Excel again? Especially when you get into formulas and things like pivot tables. Regularly refer to this. I've got bookmarked videos so that I don't have to scour around the internet and find out, is this the right version of Excel or something else? Something really great for people that have workers and staff is, you know, some of that training can cost a lot of money and takes a lot of time out of the day to send somebody for a whole day to teach them something like basic bookkeeping. But if they can break it down into 15-minute increments, you can learn a lot in the course of time, and it saves money, and it's just fantastic. I can't really rave enough about it. So yeah, and it's great. Absolutely. And it's a bit self-explanatory. So if I wanted to take a look at this, become a web designer, just for anybody that hasn't done this, it walks you through. You can see that it has an explanation of what this course is going to do, the time it takes to finish the whole course. And a lot of these come with a badge at the end. So if you're building your LinkedIn profile, you're on the job search, you can prove that you are, one, into continuing your own education and lifelong learning, and two, that you've taken these courses to skill up and you have some experience in these places, which is immensely useful for anybody that is hiring somebody these days.
Yeah.
All right, so then I'll take us back to our presentation, and I've got one more that I'm really very excited to show you, and it's fantastic. This is one where I actually have to thank Rick from Creative for bringing to my attention, and it's called Sem Rush. And let's see where I'm at here. All right.
Yeah, this is one I'm super excited about as well. And I do have to say, while you're bringing that one up, that yeah, I was like so excited that like you were doing these three, and I'm like, okay, can you come back? Like I'm already thinking about like 2 or 3 or 5 more of these, because it's like we still have to go through the rest of this particular, that whole setup that you have like right in the beginning, and it's like nonprofits, and then the creative side, and then the other programming. Like we could just go on and on. And I was like, Gina gets her own part of the show.
Well, and in putting this together, I'm kind of thinking, gosh, there's just so much in all of these. It's really just a taster. A lot of this is, you dig in and you find even more every time you open one of these. So this is really just kind of to share with everybody. Okay, so these are things that you can, if it's interesting to you, let's have a conversation and let's dig deeper.
Yeah. Exactly.
So Sem Rush is for folks that haven't ever used it before. It's an all-in-one tool, and it's all about improving your online presence and marketing. And so if you're doing SEO or keyword research or your competitive analysis of where you're at in the internet sphere, this is an incredibly useful tool. The other thing I'll say is it's a little intimidating at first because it just digs in. Like it's going to tell you, it's going to throw data at you. And so this is one of those things where I encourage folks, hey, let's learn together, because there are folks who, knowing that we have this tool can help you analyze that data in a way that may just seem really out there at first. But then when you start to work with it more, you can start to see, this is indicating a lot of different things that make it so that you can make really useful decisions. So I will go ahead and we will jump into.
Yeah, and I have to say that this is a tool that I also use as well, like mini tools. So much data, and it's it's really definitely for the wonky people.
Wait, did you say wonky people?
Yeah. I admit it. I just go full on like.
I love that term.
Again, I go down rabbit holes, so it's like the same thing when I'm explaining Google Analytics to people. It's like, oh, and then you can do this thing, and it's like I have to back way up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sorry, take a breather.
Oh my gosh.
The thing is too, is just like taking that data and then what do you do with it? Like how do you utilize, like, what do you use keywords for, or key phrasing and stuff like that? It's like, well, that's how people are searching for your products or services, and it may not be the way that you describe yourself oftentimes. I use the example that, when I was working for an orthopedic group, and they were utilizing the word spine a lot, this spine and that spine and spinal. And I was like, oh, you know what people really look up? My back hurts. Why does my back hurt? that's the key right there.
Yes, it is really just very, very interesting what you see people search for when you really start to look at it. And that's something that us at the library, I just did a quick audit on our website last night out of curiosity, and one of the things that people are asking the most is the library open? And it's just like, hey, that's indicative to we have some work to do. Let's let the community know.
Yeah.
And so this is something that is real-time applicable. You can definitely get some feedback here. So I wanted to show you, this is so there's so much in this toolkit. Oh, and I see that there's a question come through from Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. If you don't have a library card from New Haven, but you have one from your local library, reach out to me personally, and I'll see what I can do for you. And for anybody else that doesn't happen to have a library card at this time, but would love one, give us a call. If you live in New Haven, we can just issue you one right over the phone, no problem. And you can start accessing this stuff today.
Thank you. Thanks for answering that question.
No problem. I saw it pop through. I'm like, library card. Yes, I know. I know what you mean. So I'm just even going to say, this is something that is, I would take it, play with it, see what you can get out of it. But this is really a useful tool if you happen to be working with somebody to improve your web presence. So if you happen to be working with Julia at Known, then, you know, this gives you an insight as to what can we really do with some of this stuff. So if you are a consultant working with customers of yours to do a lot of this work, this is for you too. You know, it's all about helping people either support their business and have it grow, or, you know, maybe this is actively useful to your business as a consultant. So usually what people start with is the domain overview because they want to know, let's put something in. So I am a big fan of Magnolia Bakery. Their banana pudding is to die for. So let's see. So let's take a look at what Magnolia Bakery's website, what their traffic looks like. And since they're a gigantic company, they have some really, really good analytics. And you can see here that it'll tell you what domain you're analyzing. It will do multiple countries here if you're interested in doing that. And it will give you some scoring and tell you about your backlinks and your traffic trends. So as you can see, it really doesn't coach the data. It doesn't couch that data for you. It just gives it to you. So
it throws it right at you.
It throws it right at you. And something that I think is really interesting is it will tell you like the top organic keywords. What are people searching to find you and how are they finding you? Mm-hmm. So you can see that they've got a lot of brand recognition. People just know to put in Magnolia and it'll pop up. The other thing that's interesting from this report is it'll show you your main competitors and let you analyze their URLs too. So you can see what keywords they're using. They can see what their backlinks are. You can get some ideas as to, okay, so if they're doing well, then how are they doing things differently than I am if they're my competitor? So if I was over here looking at this infographic, the competitive positioning map here, if I'm Magnolia Bakeries, I'm watching sprinkles.com pretty close. But if I'm not Magnolia Bakery and I happen to be Magnolia Bakery Online, that's interesting. If I happen to be Billy's Bakery NYC, I'm watching what all these people are doing.
Right, all the way across.
Exactly. And another nice thing about this is just one tool to kind of analyze, okay, my web traffic as of now, how's that doing? But this tool offers so much more that you can do with your competitive research. You can run a complete site audit and it will crawl your entire website and give you advice on how to fix certain things that may optimize it a little better. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things about Sem Rush also is the fact that they have a fantastic blog that will dig into some of these topics and teach you along the way as you use this tool.
I love their blog. They're definitely one of like probably 5 or 6 blogs that, you know, I'll check in with certain resources every morning, kind of, you know, thumb through whether I need it for my own personal development or for my own business development, but also for like, what are some of the things that I'm going to talk about if there's changes on platforms or in search and that sort of thing. And I'm like, okay, grab the information from here, grab the information from here. It's always on my tabs. So
yes, yeah, absolutely. And so on the left, you'll see this drop-down kit. We were just looking at the SEO toolkit. There are so many toolkits in this. And one that I've played with recently is that content marketing. If you write some content, it will analyze how effective it is for you and will make suggestions to improve that clickability of your content. So I'm actually curious, Julia, what is the thing you use Sem Rush for the most?
It's definitely the website and the keywords, because I do a lot of marketing and online marketing. And like I said, oftentimes, especially if I'm not particularly familiar with the business sector, or if I want to test what my theories are, I want to see like what bears out when I'm doing, pay per click and Google Ads and that sort of thing. So I use it a lot for advertising. And that's the other thing too, because other people that I work with would use it for, like you said, crawling the website and, seeing how it's performing and where things kind of, need to be upgraded or enhanced and that sort of thing. So I would say that those are like just a couple of my favorite things, so to speak. And it's interesting because I always like, oh yeah, I'm doing a lot of organic social, but I'm really doing kind of like more kind of like higher level kind of branding and thinking and planning and that sort of thing that kind of helps me understand how I'm going to actually implement or have somebody implement a program.
Yes, absolutely. And so we talked a little bit about emergent intellect and how you can use it to see who your competitors are.
Yeah.
And this also, I mean, these tools kind of working all together in that sense of, starting with one, but trying it in different places, you'll get a larger picture of information as well.
Exactly.
And so this is why we call it that toolkit, because they're all useful in their own different way. And for whatever stage of entrepreneurship you happen to be in too, if you're just beginning, great. You can do that with you and then move on to the next step. It doesn't have to be perfect right away. Nobody is. I mean, maybe, but good for them,
Rest of us, it's always like the plan is really a framework, right? And you go back and you revisit it as you gain more knowledge, just like everything else. And I'm always talking about like, every 3 months, just kind of go through a checklist of like where you are. And obviously when you're developing, right, you're in it every single day. But then once it's pretty much set and not perfect, just set, then it's kind of like, okay, how are you building out this knowledge? How are you proving what your theories are as far as like, this is going to work because, okay, no, wait, I have to tweak this or I have to take it into a direction. So I think one of the things about businesses, and this lends itself perfectly, is always being willing to learn, right? Yeah. That's definitely part of being an entrepreneur, definitely part of being a business, is always being curious and always being willing to learn and having these tools at your disposal and free. My goodness. Yeah.
And it's funny because that's the other thing is, if there's something that you need, absolutely. I think that's something that a lot of folks don't realize they can do, or that they're going to offend the librarian. I mean, we're not sacrosanct. You can come and tell us, hey, I think this might be better. Can you get this instead? Yeah, I can. Or if you love it and you want to keep it forever, that's good feedback for us too.
Right.
Like, we really are here to just serve the community and help people learn as much as they can to be as successful as they can. So
communicate.
It's the key to success. That's my feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. You did a wonderful job. I know you were saying that like this is, gosh, this is going to run the whole thing, but like we're at 9:17 right now. I just want to open the floor to questions, and I know that we did have a few questions. We answered Rebecca's question, so that's super cool. And I have questions and comments as well. Juan had a really good question, I think, and I know that we're going to probably, one of us is going to talk to you about this a little bit later. But can we just really quickly touch upon what the library has seen its greatest accomplishments and kind of its challenges at this time? I know we talked a tiny bit about it, and coming into like the online space and kind of holding that balance between like, yes, we're open. There's librarians that, are in the spaces that will answer questions and that sort of thing. But then also ramping up the communication, there's that word again, that there are online resources as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it is one of those things where the library in general, during this time especially, the hard pivot in a direction that we were working towards incrementally anyway, which is, how do we give people the access any time of day that they want? Because, if you're an entrepreneur and you're bootstrapping, you might have a family, you might have another job. You can't necessarily make a 3 p.m. appointment to come down to the library to meet with somebody. So moving in that direction to make it as accessible, take away the barriers, and just give people what they need. That is really the push that we're seeing, and I'm so excited about that. And in general, that's also what inspired the space and the dedication to this growth mindset is, let's ask people what they want. And what they really want is a place to get together, to talk about ideas, to create community, and to grow. And I would say that's the biggest accomplishment, is to see people take a dream that they have, walk into the library, start talking to somebody, and then 4 months later, you have seen this person take it from a thought to an actual physical item, or it's ready to launch. They're looking at investors. This happens, and it's the most rewarding thing to see and incredible. People who have the guts to take an idea and just throw caution to the wind and try it out, the bravest people on the planet.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's all about. It's really reaching out and helping all of those incredibly brave people that have the guts to take their idea, and whether or not it's just a poem or it's a multi-million-dollar business, it takes guts.
It does. And the thing, and we've talked about this before, and I've talked to you about this. One of the things that I really love, and I had mentioned this in the beginning as well, is just such a sense of like the larger community. I mean, you're bringing in people to read, to study. There's tutors and students who are coming into the library, and so that's in the space. The business entrepreneurship, the creativity. So writers and artists kind of showing other artists and tinkerers and crafters. And I mean, it's just like, it's like, it's not a laundry list. It's like, these are like all things, and musicians come in, and then, you get to see culinary skills growing and thriving in a space.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned working with SCORE. I know that CoLab has used the space in there. You have the entrepreneurship in residence. You have the creative in residence. And so this is segueing into another question that Juan had also asked, because I know that we had talked a little bit where you're going to be coming back for a couple of more known lives. And so I'm going to answer part of that question, because I think it's really important as a member of Known, and we align in the same way. One of the reasons why I'm here, and I kind of straddled between like, I'm going to jump over to the library when it was, open, and go into that entrepreneur space and kind of feel that energy, because there's a great amount of energy. And then there's also a great amount of energy here at Known. So there's a lot of synergy there. And so he's asking, what are some ways that No Co-working and the New Haven Public Library can collaborate? And I know I had offered this off camera, and I'd always like to offer this on camera, that you can come and talk about the library resources anytime you want. Like, we have to first go down that other list. There was 3, I think there was like 6 or 7 more, or 5 or 6 more. But then, like, what else is available? But then we were talking about like a couple of other things, as well, like getting, this is one of the ways to get the word out, and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. And there's so many possibilities. That is definitely something that I'm very much looking forward to talking more with you and Barb and Juan about, and anybody that's interested in a collaboration where I'm a big proponent of mutually beneficial collaborations where it's a win-win all around. And absolutely, there's definitely ways that we can kind of connect. One of my favorite things about New Haven is, it's an amazing thing, is the support network in the city is incredible. Everybody's got a guy or a friend, and they will absolutely be happy to make that introduction. So it is so incredibly supportive, and so many amazing things can come of just that dynamic in a city. I've never seen the like of it anywhere else, and I've bounced around the world a lot, but this is definitely something special.
And I was saying the same thing. I was like, I've had a business for 10 years, started another business, kept with digital media thing, that sort of thing. And I've always thought about, just the sense of community in so many ways. There's so many strains. And, I'm definitely, and still am, the type of person where it's like, no, I'm not just running a business. Like I also want to be so plugged into the community in so many ways. I want to help with, whatever it is. And there's so many opportunities for that. And there's so many opportunities to be a connector and to see, the library be such a hub, and where you walk in, it's like, oh well, we have SCORE people here, and we have people from the literacy volunteers, and we have people from CoLab, and we have other business owners coming in and taking their time, artists coming in taking their time, musicians, chefs, and just kind of that this is one of the hubs over here, this is one of the hubs over here, making this a hub as well, that sort of thing. And we all work together, and that's the thing that really, that's the community, right? We all work together. We're all raising all boats, as much as we possibly can. And the thing is, if we see that there's something lacking, oh, don't worry. Right up.
If anything, there's 3 people that saw it was lacking, and they all need to just be connected. And that's the thing, is none of this would be possible without partners in the community. So like you mentioned, SCORE, Elmseed, CoLab, Women's Business Development, you name it. The CEDF has been wonderful to us. The people at Known, I regularly refer people to you all because you're great. And I know that is going to help that person out the best. So it's a library without the people in the community. It's really just a room with books, and books are great. Rooms are great, but it's community that really makes something special. And we're just all lucky to live in a place with so many people with so much talent willing to give back. And so I'm just one of many.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me. This was definitely just one of the most both intellectually inspiring and community inspiring. And I want to have more digital media things like this, and we're building up our partnerships as well. So having you come and speak with us and kind of show us what the library is doing, that's just going to be such a blast as well. So thank you very much for being here.
And I would be absolutely, but I would just be beyond embarrassed if I did not say, that all of this is made possible with the support of the New Haven Innovation Collaborative and the CT Next folks that really do provided our funding and really make a lot of this possible along with our community. So if you're not connected with the New Haven Innovation Collaborative yet, check it out. A lot of folks are plugged into that network, and it's an amazing, amazing group.
Great. Thank you so much, Gina. I'm going to go back to doing a little bit of admin as well. I just wanted to let everybody know that we've recorded this and it's on YouTube and it's on Facebook Live, but I'm also going to put it on our website. I'm also going to make this available to Gina as well. So we have that. So if you missed any part of this or you didn't get up or didn't get your coffee, don't worry about that. We'll be here. And stay tuned with us tomorrow as well, because again, we're going to have Known Live with the artist Amira Brown. Again, I'm super excited about that. Please come to our website as well. And you can see all of our previous Digital Media Sync shows, all of our previous Pivot Talk and Known Live shows, and you'll also be able to see how you can utilize the actual space. Known Co-working is open for dedicated desk and private offices, and we also have all of our health and safety criteria and protocol up as far as that is concerned. So I am going to close out now. We will see you in the next few weeks. I'll be posting what our next several digital media syncs will be, and everybody have a great day.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.